If you become a student of history, one of the first things you'll learn is that you should never trust your government. An unfortunate angle to that is that from our perspective, we are limited in the ability to gather information regarding the most nefarious actions that are undertaken by secretive UFO programs within those uncooperative governments. Thankfully, we have Asha of the Tall Whites to answer some of those questions for us today through the power of QHHT. Hey friends, welcome back to Cosmic Hypnosis. I'm Bob, a hypnotherapist, Andromedan starseed, and ET contactee. In this video, we're asking Asha, what's the worst thing she can tell us about the US government? Ultimately, she provides strong criticism on our UFO crash retrieval programs. Not only is this information important, but the Tall Whites are gifting humanity with the opportunity for growth in this regard if we come together to demand change in how these operations are conducted. As the population slowly wakes up to the fact that aliens are real, and that many of those crashed UFOs had physical beings with individual souls on board, we have to ask the logical question: what happened to these people? Where are they being kept? And how are they being treated? This is by far the biggest issue that Asha and the Tall Whites continue to raise with me. They are not happy about it whatsoever. As a lot of this insight comes to light through our various ET friends, we are going to have to take a long, hard look in the mirror and make some hard group decisions on how we want to carry ourselves as a civilization here on Earth before we're allowed to join the galactic family. We have to be better, but that first starts with gaining the necessary insight. Here's some of what Asha has to say about it from early on in our communications.
Why is it that ships that can travel throughout the universe come to Earth and crash?
Well, there are a number of reasons why a ship may crash. For example, some ships are propelled by consumables, and, well, if you do not have the necessary consumables to fuel your ship, well, your ship will crash. Some of the reasons that ships crash may deal with the variance in electromagnetic field on your planet, as well as there are various weak spots within that field, and natural portals that may become a problem. There is also the ongoing concern that your Earth government are shooting down craft, and that is what has caused many crafts to fall out of the sky over the years. That is the most likely scenario, is that they have been shot down by your Earth governments, because there are many different extraterrestrial groups, as we have classified throughout this session, and a problem, well, not a problem, but we are all at different levels of advancement, and some of us are technologically advanced to the point where there is nothing that your Earth governments can do to shoot us down. It is like the equivalent of a single ant trying to take down one of your strongest warriors. But there are many groups that are just out here trying to explore. As Morton and Thias have explained throughout many sessions, there are many extraterrestrial races that fly around in the equivalent of tin cans. Not all species create super advanced extraterrestrial craft. Some of these propulsion systems are very rudimentary. Some of these groups get a craft off the ground and they say, well, it works. Why do we have to change anything? And so there are many variables in that regard that cause ships to malfunction. Some of the ships that crash have living beings on them. Some of the ships that crash have artificial beings on them that are part machine, part biologic, that carry out tasks so that their home races are not put in jeopardy. There are also unmanned probes that are very frequent here. The Andromedans have many of those that come by, so that they do not have to subject themselves to flying around willy-nilly. With that said, there is no chance that an Earth government would be able to take down an Andromedan scout ship. It would not even be a competition. The Andromedans are so far advanced that there is nothing that you could do against them if they chose to be a problem. But it really depends on the group and the craft. But your Earth governments do have the ability to shoot down many craft, and they do that. The United States government is notorious for doing so. Many of you do not realize it, and we do not want to startle you today, but you are at war. The fate of your planet is hanging in the balance. And the United States government is very interested in any competitive edge that they may be able to procure. Also keep in mind, there are many defense contractors as well as corporations within your planet that have private interests when it comes to procuring some of this technology so that they may be able to develop it for military applications. It's a very lucrative business. And so there are many interests at play when it comes to why they would want to knock a craft out of the sky and be the first one to recover that craft. There are many eyes watching the sky. Not many of them are public. Many of them are within your black budget projects, but these groups do have an interest in taking down craft, and it happens often. More often than not, it is a result of human intervention, but it is sometimes the result of natural Earth occurrences that these groups do not account for. It is difficult to account for things when you are new to the area, when you are exploring, when your technology may not be as advanced. For example, if you were to have the ability during World War II, for example, to get in a basic craft and fly it across the galaxy and land on a planet that you have never been to before, you would not know what you were getting yourself into until you showed up and had the experience, as your technology would be relatively limited in whether or not you could account for the variables at play, both naturally occurring and variables that may be introduced by the beings that live on that planet. It is no different when it comes to extraterrestrials visiting your planet. There is a great spectrum when it comes to how advanced these groups are. Some of them are very advanced. Some of them are on par with you. Some of them are not as advanced. Some people have figured out how to use anti-gravity technology and fly. Some have not. Technological progression is not always linear. Keep that in mind.
What is the most important bit of disclosure that you want humanity to know about today?
Your governments have not only recovered alien bodies, but they have locked up live aliens underground. You currently have a number of extraterrestrials that are currently being held prisoner and tortured on a regular basis. You have recovered craft. You have recovered living beings. You have recovered more than you could ever imagine. That is the most important piece of disclosure. Yes, this is real. Yes, this is happening. Yes, you have a military in space. You have an off-world civilization. You have off-world colonies. There is an entire existence off of Earth that is self-sufficient. They have taken people off of your planet and moved them into these colonies. The brain drain, for example. Your Earth governments have made deals with negative extraterrestrials where they allow for humans to be abducted. They allow for these humans to be used as guinea pigs. They allow these humans to be used as slaves. They allow these humans to be used as cattle. They allow these humans to be used as food. They allow these humans to be used as bargaining chips. They allow these humans to be used as whatever these extraterrestrial groups deem them necessary to be used as. They are throwing your people to the wind. They do not care about you. You are a slave. You are no more than cattle on a ranch. That is how many of your Earth governments look at you. You are stupid. They look down on you. And as long as you continue to not take interest in what is going on and close your eyes and worry more about your own individual lives, you will not see great change on Earth on a massive scale. This stuff is happening. It is brutal. There are a lot of dark things happening underground. All of these things are true. That is the most important answer that we feel we can give today.
Why is it that in traditional UFO mythology, it seems as if there are only a small number of occupants on crashed ships that humans have retrieved?
We cannot speak to how other groups structure their crews, but oftentimes it's not necessary for a large scouting party when the goal is simply data collection. But it varies between race, and there are too many variables to speak upon here.
Are there any ET groups that humanity is incapable of shooting down or forcing to crash?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to shoot us down. You can't shoot down the Andromedans. There are a lot of other groups as well. You're not going to be shooting down any Galactic Federation races. It wouldn't be possible.
Is that just because you're so advanced?
We're technologically advanced. There's no way you could touch us. With that said, there are craft that you do own that could engage us in battle, but it's not going to happen. And we are technologically superior still. Earth would not be able to beat us in a direct conflict.
You've mentioned in past sessions as well as in this session about the U.S. government having ETs locked up underground. What is the end goal of them doing such a thing?
The Earth governments want any technological advantage that they can gain. They want information about the home planets, the home species. They want information about other species. They want information about psychic ability, telepathy. Any way they can turn any of this knowledge into battlefield knowledge, any ways that they can use these beings to further their means and their abilities, that's what they would like to do. Any ways that they can advance their technology. I mean, the sky's the limit. They look at these beings as if they are an unlimited box of knowledge that they can torture this knowledge out of. The problem is often, how do you communicate with a nonverbal being when you're not psychic? Or how do you communicate with a nonverbal being when that being doesn't want to talk to you? You're very limited in what you can do as a result. There's a lot of very dark things that have happened to these beings. We are not a fan. We do not feel that free will should be trampled on, and it is being trampled on.
Have any Earth governments ever kept an ET hostage and put Earth in jeopardy as a result?
There have been several that they have been forced to let go, yes.
Okay. How many ETs are currently being held by Earth governments?
Struggling to get a clear number. At least 11.
What do what races do these beings belong to?
We're not getting any specifics today.
As always, a big thanks to our patrons for your ongoing support of the channel, allowing us to do this work, and to you for checking out our content. To hear more of our work, check out the various playlists here on the channel, and head over to our Patreon for the stuff that we can't release publicly on YouTube, as well as for membership tiers with discounts on your next online session with us. If you're interested in finding your purpose for incarnating on Earth, where your soul comes from, how you can best navigate your life, and hearing ideal advice by you for you, check out the links in the description for booking an online session with Elise or myself today. We look forward to learning and growing with you. I'll talk to you in the comments and see you in the next one.